Like, subscribe, and follow. This is Truly News, and life will be grand. If you don't, well,
it'll be less grand. It'll be ungrand.
It'll be baby grand.
Ooh. Maybe, baby.
Like, subscribe, and follow. And if you have a story you'd like us to use or chuckle with you about, send it off to TITR at, TITR at netradio.network. Drat. So close.
This is True, Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
From Reason.com's Brickbat column, a New York judge has...
So if Batman were made out of bricks?
Yes.
He'd be a lot like the Thing, only with a cape.
Yes. Why wouldn't they just call him the Wall at that point?
The Wall had strong connotations back in the 60s.
No, I suppose.
You know, they had the big thing in Berlin.
Oh, and then there was that thing down in China.
Yeah. No.
And then in Israel, there was the,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I thought the wall in Jericho came tumbling down.
Well, that was that one. I was thinking of the Wailing Wall. You putz.
That's a crying shame I didn't think of that.
And, good Lord. A New York judge has vacated the conviction of Sheldon Thomas, who spent
counting on him being good.
counting 18 years in prison for murder. Thomas was arrested after New York City police officers showed a witness a photo of another man with the same name, and she identified him. Then they arrested
the wrong
Thomas.
guy.
Well, it looks like they did it on purpose. An investigation found that the detectives knew there were two men with the same name, but were intent on arresting this Thomas and used the identification of the other man as a pretext.
Huh. So it's not like when Manny Delgado got pulled into the office at the airport because he was in the no-fly zone, and he's only 10.
Right. Exactly. The same
so
witness.
You haven't been to Japan?
By the way, the same witness later identified Thomas in a lineup, meaning she identified two different people as the suspect. And yet this guy spent 18 years in prison for murder.
How did his attorneys not figure that out?
No idea. Apparently it was covered up for 18 years.
Oh, come on. Governments don't cover stuff up.
That can't possibly happen, especially if they're a government I believe in.
No, then it would be impossible.
Right? Over to you.
Just now in my head, I'm trying to think of a government I believe in.
You're not an anarchist.
I am not. But I'm not fond of my government either, so... 38-year-old Mark was leaving with his wife for work one morning. It was a cold day in January because they live in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And their back garden, they looked just like it does any other day. And the next word would be, but when the wife returned that afternoon, there was a concrete slab painted with a creepy clown face propped against the wall. Belfast Telegraph had this quote from Mark, who said, "Someone would have had to come through our gate, down the steps to place it there, and deliberately place it so it was facing the window so we would see it." That, to me, seems like a lot of work. The clown was holding a lighted candle, and on the reverse side, a Bible verse, "Let your light shine," Matthew 5:16. Mark, who is, by the way, named after one of the gospel writers, Mark contacted friends, neighbors, family members to see if it was a prank or if others had received a clown. No one had.
Question, a point of detail. Did he talk to Matthew, Luke, and John, his friends?
I would have.
That's okay. Just checking.
There could be other verses at play. Mark simply threw the clown away, but remains just a hair creeped out. His quote being, "It's a little unsettling."
It is.
You think?
Yeah. I'm fair certain the person was trying to say something nice or encouraging, but this ain't the way to do it, dude.
Yeah. Clowns are never...
It's always dicey because some people are really creeped out by clowns.
Clowns are creepy. Let's be honest.
I like
all of them. I'm not saying they can't be fun. Nope, wrong kind of clown.
Oh, okay. From Reason.com, the Brickbat file. Kay Jarvis spent more than a year behind bars after a traffic stop left two Daytona my tongue just tripped over everything. Left two Daytona Beach,
You were
Florida.
tangled, were you?
I was. Two Daytona Beach, Florida police officers injured, and Jarvis facing multiple felony charges. When a judge saw the video of the stop and what followed, she ruled that Mr. Jarvis was unlawfully detained after his first denial of consent. Had officers allowed Mr. Jarvis to leave as he was entitled to, no one would have gotten hurt. The injuries resulted from the officer's own illegal activity. Video showed officers initially gave Jarvis a warning but asked to search his vehicle. He refused. And he refused multiple times when they repeated the request. The officers ordered him out of his vehicle and prepared to search it. Jarvis asked if he could watch. When they said he could not, he got back in and drove off, injuring the officers as they tried to stop him. After the judge's ruling, prosecutors dropped all charges against Jarvis, who is now suing the police department. He'll win that case.
It's what we do. If you ever watch the video cartoon movie type of The Dark Knight Returns,
Yeah,
Frank Miller comic book,
sure.
there is a line when anarchy is breaking out and he looks up at Batman and goes, "I'm suing." And Robin looks and goes, "Good luck with that."
Yeah. You're going to have a great time.
Notice there's a Marshfield, Massachusetts. Catherine Graham cashed in on her 50 minutes of fame. Her 50 minutes were on The Price is Right with Drew Carey. See, she flew to Los Angeles to visit her daughter, and they were going to attend a taping of the show.
Okay.
If you watch it, it was on February 1st.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
I don't either. As luck would have it, she ended up on stage with Drew and played for the great trip to New Hampshire.
Yay!
He's from Marshfield, Massachusetts.
So I know what's going to happen here because this is the way these TV prizes work. Shall I tell you or
Nope.
do you want? Okay.
Harry gushed, "Hey, New Hampshire's beautiful." And Graham replied, "Drew, I live in Boston. I've been to New Hampshire a million times." Oh, but there's more. To collect her prize, the round-trip airfare, she will, in fact, have to leave her home in Massachusetts, fly back to Los Angeles, to then fly to New Hampshire. Graham told WBZ TV, "I wish it was Tahiti or Bora Bora, a cruise around the world maybe, but it was still very fun."
Well, it's a great story to tell.
It is. Now you've got one of those you will never be at a loss
No.
at any gathering to have something really cool to tell people. Drew Carey made me travel across country to go someplace I could have driven to.
In much less time.
Much less time.
I could have walked there.
Hey, but you got to hang out. You got to hang out in LAX again, so that's always a treat.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.